Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and deep in the Borneo jungle we found Uvaria. What is Uvaria? It's one of the tasty edible Annonaceae fruits which look nothing like the Annonaceae we are used to. We are here in Borneo. You might say, what, Borneo? Borneo doesn't have railroads. Well, the only railroad in Borneo is actually going through the Tenom Gorge, through the Croca Range mountains, a tall mountain range which is being penetrated just by one single river. And here is this famous gorge with the only railroad line in Borneo. And I think I can still say deep within the Borneo jungle, because for miles around us there is basically just jungle and a couple small settlements, really tiny settlements of a couple houses along the railroad. And well, of course, this jungle has been locked. I mean, when you have a railroad and a river to transport the timber, you collect the timber and you transport it. And as you can see, it's not a primary jungle. Most of the trees here are sugar palms, which are a pioneer species. But basically, since the higher parts of the gorge have never been extensively locked, the jungle here is recovering nicely. We just saw some pieces of the flower lying right here between the tracks. This is a piece of the flower. This is a piece of the flower. Here is another petal from the flower and a couple of the fruits. But first, let's go to the plant itself. Not sure which one of the vines here on this tree is the plant. Uvaria is also being cultivated mostly as an ornamental, despite the fact that the fruits are also quite big and edible. Funny enough, coincidentally, yesterday we went to the agricultural park in Tenom, maybe the best botanic garden in all of Borneo, trying to find Uvaria fruits, because we were told that it's currently fruiting, but we only found flowers on the plants. And also here up there, one of those plants is Uvaria. And how can I be so sure? Well, I see one of the big, beautiful, deep red flowers. See it? Here. They are reddish purplish, but I really see that there are a lot of species of vines on this tree. So with most of the vines I can say clearly it's not Uvaria, but with some I'm not sure. Of course, with the flower, I'm sure the flower is Uvaria. And unfortunately, there will not be anything really good to taste here. Basically, I completely overlooked this, and my beautiful but camera shy assistant, she found the smallest possible piece and brought it to me, and only after that did we find the big pieces. And Uvaria in frutescence doesn't look anything like the Annonaceae we are used to from South and Central America, those big things that look a little bit like a pineapple or a durian. Uvaria, like many other genera in the Annonaceae, is basically a bunch of finger-like fruits. And here, I'm sure the monkeys or the birds or whatever have been at them and have feasted on them long before they are ripe. Right now we are not in the fruit season, so there are very few fruits, not only in the gardens but also in the jungle. So the animals eat everything quite early when it's still unripe. Basically, outside of the fruit season, it's almost impossible for humans to forage fruits in the jungle or even to harvest fruits from their orchards, because the animals basically compete a lot for the small amounts of fruits. And yeah, you end up with stuff like that. A lot of unripe fruits which are, I would say, more destroyed than devoured, because the animals are so desperate. Here is a half-ripe fruit. Part of it has not been eaten. Oh yeah, there seems to be something edible inside. Probably it won't be the best quality because it definitely ripened after it was ripped off the tree and ripped into shreds, but yeah. Well, the inside looks a little bit like pawpaw. It tastes. Oh, here my assistant found another. Well, this fruit was aborted, or this whole infrutescence was aborted because there are just a few pollinated seeds. I think the plant shed this on itself, but still, we're gonna taste it. My assistant is quite useful. Not only is she beautiful, but also very useful, making a face right now. We just devoured 2 giant Rollinias on the market of Tenon before we came here. And taste-wise, this reminds me of a not very good Rollinia. But as I said, this was ripped off the tree and ripped to shreds while still unripe. So, assistant, what do you think about the taste? Here one more piece, bigger piece but less ripe. Here, by the way, the seeds. Yeah, there is edible stuff in there. Yeah, snotty like Rollinia, and also the flavor is like Rollinia. Like a very low quality Rollinia, but I can imagine if you let this ripen on the tree. The day before yesterday there were ripe fruits of a very similar looking species in the park, but yesterday we couldn't locate any. But I'm sure if you let them ripen properly, they will be as tasty as a Rollinia or some other Annonaceae. Try this one. Now let's try the small abortive fruit. Well, was it aborted or did it more or less ripen? I guess a mix of both. More sweet, snotty. Yeah, really like a low quality Rollinia. So we can say with quite some certainty that finish it. That if you let it ripen properly, it will be more like a high quality Rollinia. Not bad, should be grown more often. Not just as an ornamental, but also as a fruit tree. So folks, what do you think about this Uvaria? Also, what species do you think this could be? And what do you think how tasty it would be when ripened properly? Please tell me. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich Crocker range in Borneo. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.